I am LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk. Today is Wednesday, March the 3rd, 2021, and we're going to just do maybe a follow up or just piggyback off our commentary that we did yesterday. Yesterday, we did commentary about allegedly Meghan McCain had a talk to from the View executive, and as we know, the past 2 days, on Monday and Tuesday, she was not on the show. She was absent, and Whoopi had said on yesterday that she will be back today, which she was back on today's show, March 3rd, 2021, Wednesday. And we want to do commentary because I found it kind of ironic. I'm going to play a couple of videos, but it was something I saw on Twitter that just kind of caught my eyes. Why I said, well, okay, we need to do a follow up on this subject as well as talk about Meghan McCain, because last Mondays when she did the where she called for Dr. Fauci to basically be let go, get someone else instead of Dr. Fauci, she implied that we need to have someone that knows the science, and from my understanding from the allegedly of ABC executive talking with her, it was in regards to the fact that she gave the implied implication that Dr. Fauci doesn't believe in science, and that's kind of where ABC, the View executive, set the bar, and because it was stated her defense was she's just doing her job, and it wasn't so much because she said she wanted Dr. Fauci fired, but again, allegedly, what tipped the iceberg, or what perhaps required the verbal talk to with Meghan McCain and View executive, was she implied that Dr. Fauci didn't believe in science. And this, let me go ahead and read the tweet that I was gonna read. And again, we're gonna play some clips from today. This says, at Meghan McCain, how do you lift yourself among other women over slut shaming, but then align with the same people who think it's a woman's choice for her body shouldn't be her own? How was the 2-day Fauci timeout? Do you lie about COVID so you can vaccination line jump? But what caught my eye was, how was the 2-day Fauci timeout? And when I didn't, I do invite you to go and listen to that commentary about allegedly Meghan McCain was talked to by the View executive. If you have not already, go and review that. And also, we're going to continue on with this commentary. But it just kind of stood out. Like I said, it was allegedly that the View talked to her, View executive talked with Meghan McCain, and it had been said, well, that's the reason she was out on Monday and Tuesday. Did she get a 2-day suspension? I even added, well, was it maybe because she was sucking, for the simple fact, because I'm sure that if this actually happened, Meghan McCain probably went into a state of shock that they actually were talking to her, reprimanding her, John McCain's daughter, the one that can do no wrong. And maybe she was sucking, therefore didn't show up. Or perhaps, I really would go with, as I said in that commentary on yesterday, all the above. I would go with perhaps she did get a 2-day suspension for her action, and maybe this was just to let her know that she too is going to have to be in guidance of what is expected of the show, because this is a show, it's a prominent show, and then too they don't want to get sued or be held responsible for things that they are lying. Although they've letting her get away with so much, that's why she does what she does, is because she's so accustomed to doing things the Meghan McCain way, and the fact she's John McCain's daughter. But again, so I think it may have been all the above. I think perhaps they may have given her a 2-day suspension to just kind of really let her know we're serious about the matter, and she probably was sucking about the matter, being the baby that she is. Whenever she doesn't get her way, she loves to pout. So therefore, I think it was a combination of both. But what is fact, she was not on The View Monday and Tuesday. And then again, and I've seen this, like 2 other bloggers have blogged about it, about she was allegedly talked to. And then when I saw this on Twitter, at Meghan McCain, how do you lift yourself among other women over slut shaming, but then align with the same people who think a woman's choices for her body shouldn't be her own? But what was the key for me in this tweet? How was the 2-day Fauci timeout? So that just kind of gives the assumption that perhaps what we have been told allegedly, that she had the View executive had to talk to, and also the rumors that's been going around since her return from her maternity leave, because so many prominent people like the president, James Golston, he's expected to leave at the end of March 31st. We know Barbara Ferrito, she did not get to come back after that investigation in regards to her making racial slurs for African Americans, such as Robin Roberts, and also View co-host Sunny Hostin. And then Hillary Epstein McLaughlin, she left in February. So it's been rumored, and that's allegedly as well, that Meghan McCain is losing that little cushion that she had. And then it's a separate fact, when it had been allegedly stated that she had Sherri Shepherd banned from the View, and Sherri had not guest co-host since 2018. And then since these prominent people, the people that basically had Meghan's back, that she would go to and make her request, and they obliged, from what it appears to have been, because like I said, Sherri had not been on the View, and Sherri was on a podcast with the lady Bevy Smith, who recently also was a guest on the View. So I've done a lot of commentary about this, so I ask you, please go out there and just review a lot of the commentary that I have done. I welcome any conversation you would like to have, comments and things of that. Let's be respectful and keep this in a positive manner, because this is for adults, and I expect for mature adults to act that way. We might not agree on matters, but at the same time, I welcome to have that dialogue of conversation about anything that I talk about in my commentary. And if there's something you would like for me to talk about, please feel free again in the comment section. Let me know. But it's, of course, all of this is allegedly, but when you start adding up the facts, and as we know, 2 + 2 does equal 4, just like 1 + 1 = 2, 3 + 3 is 6. You can only just put the pieces of the puzzle together, because Sherri just was able to be back on the View again, since those people that has been stated that Meghan had as her cushion to get Meghan McCain's way. But let's listen to the conversation that I wanted to talk about for today. And the first one I'm going to start with, that went in regards to the tweet the lady just made. And it's not long. Okay. The media coverage of what this is about, it was something about Taylor Swift had, I think she had a song or something about a show, and she saw it as basically offensive, where they said more men than Taylor Swift been through, and all the ladies kind of comment. But this is what Meghan had to say, so let's listen.
This show has to do with catfighting, and we're bitches, and we're screaming at each other. Nothing a man would be done or told, and I hope someday people like Taylor Swift and whichever co-hosts of The View come after us don't have to put up with this garbage for simply doing their jobs and having robust debates. And if you're Taylor Swift, dating whoever you want. The world's got to start changing.
Can I remind us all that we were on the cover of the New York Times Magazine as the most important political show on television? You forgot that?
Okay. No, I never forget that, because our EP tells us almost every morning. But I will say, if you do the metrics of the media coverage of this show, and as someone who the most of the negative coverage is directed at, because I'm the one conservative woman in all of mainstream TV, it's mostly negative.
Yes. Wait, but I think it's so funny, Meghan, you used John Maher, because I said
the media coverage of this show has to do with cat.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop that. That was that. She's always out there with the messaging. She's the only conservative, where we know Anna is a part of the Republican Party. She's never said that she's per se conservative, because I know when Abby was on the show, she was a moderate, but I do know Anna is still affiliated with the Republican Party, although she voted for President Joe Biden, just like Meghan's mom, Cindy McCain. In fact, Cindy McCain came out openly and said that she supported, at that time, President-elect Joe Biden. And since then, she had been censored by her home state of Arizona. And she too said she's still a Republican, but she was doing what she felt what was best for the country. And Anna shared those same sentiments. It's country over party. So therefore, she was also a Biden supporter. But again, Anna has not left the Republican Party to my knowledge. But Meghan McCain, well, one thing, and I know you all already know, because if you watch The View, or if you on social media, or even just Google her or anything like that, this is a woman that is always got to be about her. So that many people call her Me Again McCain, and it's always me. But, and if she wanted, hey, she is the spokesperson for the Republicans. She claims herself to be conservative, although I think that's just a lot of crap. I think that's just what she's using in order to basically have the platform that she has, because it's not like Meghan McCain's really all that. Because I had heard, read, and I plan on doing some more research regarding that, because it had been stated, and I will use the word allegedly, prior to her dad running for president in 2008 against President Barack Obama, that Meghan McCain was a registered Democrat. Now, I'm not sure if that's facts or true, but that is something I had read a while back. Again, that is allegedly. But to go on and carry on with this conversation, she's always, I'm the conservative voice, and she's talking about they have, their debates, spats, and they're known as cat fights. None of this really started to be known about The View, because in previous, especially since Elizabeth Hasselbeck had left, it wasn't known for The View ladies, the co-hosts, to be getting, as they say, these little cat fights, or that's just so rude and disrespectful, until that arrival of Meghan McCain. The woman has no respect for anyone. She has gotten into it with every one of her co-hosts, from the moderator Whoopi to Joy, who's the oldest person on that panel and the original co-host of The View. She's had her little pics with Sarah. Okay, allegedly had been said that's why Sarah left when she had left, because she just couldn't get along with Meghan. And everybody knows Sarah has that bubbly personality. She do really seem to be a person that can get along with anyone, and she seems to be a person that's nice. She has that bubbly personality where she's really likable, lovable, and Sonny, Meghan, even one time, well, you don't need to look at me like that. I get paid. Like, she's the only freaking one that get paid. It's 5 co-hosts, dear, and all of them have a job, which is the same, to give their views, their points, their thoughts on whatever the conversation may be at that you're discussing. That's what The View is. It's a group of collective ladies that Barbara Walters wanted to bring different backgrounds, different cultures, different ethnics, and different races, and all of this, to different careers and cultures, to come together with 5 women being the main focus, to where they could sit down and have a conversation as mature adults. Again, the rival since 2017 with Meghan McCain has not been the same. And many people have even said that she's taken it to housewife status. And just last week, they was discussing something about since quarantine, and she talked about, she's always talking about the housewife, and there's nothing wrong with, it's a lot of people that love the housewives. I like Indigo and some of the housewives, but at the same time, that's her fantasy, so to speak, the housewife. But she has no respect. She's very disrespectful. She's not professional. She comes off as very just snotty, mean, and as most people say, she gives that disposition that she's just not a happy person. She's rich. As many say, trust fund baby. Some say she doesn't have to work, but she comes off just being so miserable. I hate to use the term like that, but then at the same time, I got to be real. She just comes. And then she always making those facial expressions, just like on today's show, where they was talking and Joy was talking about, she mentioned Trump and Meghan. Just again, let's look at today's show, which I'm gonna play that clip as well, because you can pay attention to her facial expression. And as I've said, it's very hard for her to have a straight face or even try to be like she's happy or smile. It's just something she doesn't do very well. And my personal opinion, I just don't think she's a good fit for the United States. For the Fox News, she probably would fit in much better. That's where she came from. That's where her husband spends a lot of times going on Fox. She often talk about she watched Fox News, But going back to what her conversation about, if it was men, it has nothing to do with this show was a group of 5 men or 4 men, 3 men. Meghan McCain is the issue. Because she, as she said, she's the only woman because she's the only conservative voice. It has nothing to do with her being a conservative, her views. It's her herself with the snottiness, with the rudeness, with the disrespectfulness, and no human kindness most of the time. Just so. Again, she seems to always put everything on a trash can lid. And no one wants that. It's her delivery. Because you can have whatever views you want. Because, again, that's what makes it the view. But it's the delivery and how you treat other people. And it's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. All the rumors that has been out there. And like I said, when you start adding these things up and putting them together, although it's allegedly, a lot of this stuff, you can see that it's true. So that's where we are. Let's listen to this video, the next one. But like I said, she really needs to stop that claim about if we were men, we wouldn't be looked upon. It's not a group of women that's being looked upon as being catty and, as you say, doing your job. But all the other women, 4 ladies, and when Anna's on there, they can do what they can say what they need to say, and they mean what they say, and they do it in a professional, mature manner. Just like when Meghan was out on her maternity leave, and The View got the highest ratings. Again, without John McCain's daughter, without Meghan McCain, and many bloggers and many viewers and fans and people were saying at that time, the View had a group of ladies that were grown-ass women at the table. Grown, mature women at the table. They say what they have to say. They give their views. They give their perspective. They give their points. They give their thoughts. And they do it respectfully. And no one is bickering, fighting, or angry. And you can tell, although they are virtual, but it's still in an uncomfortable situation. Because as many viewers and fans have said, Meghan McCain makes the show toxic. Why? Because she's toxic. Not because she seems so angry all the time. And then if you say something, she gets angry. She can't take criticism, but she wants to call herself a badass. See, you talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk. So talk is cheap. And again, I won't go with the late phenomenal Maya Angelou. When someone show you who they are, believe them. And Meghan McCain has showed us over and over who she is. She's a very rude, snotty, white privileged, self-entitled, and because the fact she knows she's John McCain's daughter and has gotten practically everything in her life off of that, being John McCain's daughter, the last name McCain, she just, again, she's just a person that most people just can't like or don't like. Okay, let me go to this one. right here. This is when the show first came on today, and they were talking about the mask and all of this. So let's listen.
Start today's. We are going to start today's show with some good news for a change, and I'm going to let the man who helped make it happen deliver it for me. Take it away, President Biden.
We're now on track to have enough vaccine supply for every adult in America by the end of May. Let me say that again. When we came into office, the prior administration had contracted for not nearly enough vaccine to cover adults in America. We rectified that.
And to honor the occasion, one of the financiers of the Moderna vaccine posted a video of her vaccination. Take a look.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging of you, please don't hesitate. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. Because once you're dead, then that's a bit too late. I know I'm trying to be funny now, but I'm dead serious about the vaccine. I think we all want to get back to normal, whatever that is. And that would be a great shot in the arm, wouldn't it? Here I go. All right. Think you got it?
I got it.
Okay. I didn't hurt.
Well, so Joy, does this make you feel better?
You go, girl.
All
It's
right.
like it's such a wonderful thing. I just love Dolly. She put her money where her arm was, and she got that vaccine. And she also is basically instructing people, see, I'm not afraid of it. I'm interested in it. So you guys, she has a lot of fans who are maybe skeptical and scared of it. And she's saying basically do that. Now, not to bring his name up again, but Trump just got also the vaccine, but he did it in private, he and Melania. Now, here's in a situation where the man has all of these loyal followers. Look at this guy at CPAC, for example. Here's a picture of a guy at CPAC worshiping the statue, the golden leader. He's bowing down to him. Now, you tell me that that guy would not listen to Donald Trump and these constituents who follow and worship at the leader's statue would not go out and get a vaccine?
Right.
He really needs to open his mouth.
Now, Sonny, do you think seeing Dolly get the shot will help people feel more comfortable getting vaccinated?
Oh, I definitely think so. I mean, she's a country music legend. I agree with Joy. I think, though, that what's the really important message is that, you know, as a country, we have enough vaccines now to vaccinate all adults by the end of May. That's 2 months before we thought that we would be fully vaccinated as a country. Right now, 51.8 million Americans have been vaccinated, but that's only 15.6% of the population. We know we need at least 70 to 80% of the population to be vaccinated. And I'm hearing, you know, all over America that people are afraid to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And that's because somehow they think it has less, it's less effective. But that really is not true, because what all of the vaccines do is prevent 100% of severe illness and hospitalization, and that's what you want. If you don't want to be hospitalized and die, then you get any vaccine that comes your way. I mean, if you think about the numbers, the flu vaccine only prevents 40 to 60% of getting the flu, and so if you look at the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in comparison to that, I think the Johnson vaccine has a 60% efficacy rate. So, you know, anyone should get any vaccine that is available to them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think, Megan? Do you think seeing Dolly get vaccinated will help people feel more comfortable?
I mean, I love her, and I think, you know, she was one of the people that helped fund this vaccine, and she's doing such a great service to our country, and she's like, you know, she's a beloved icon for all of these reasons. My concern going forward with the vaccine is just the fact that we still have a really high rate in the country of people who don't want to take it. It's around 30%, and I actually blame the messaging that's been coming out of the CDC for this problem. My friend Robbie Swaby tweeted that he was in Florida, and his cab driver said, I don't care about getting the vaccine because if I get it, nothing changes. And I think I really implore our medical field and people in charge, instead of telling us what we can't do after we get the vaccine, that nothing changes and I can't have a dinner party with joy, tell me what I can do after I get the vaccine. Tell me what we can hope for, because again, the messaging just seems really unclear, even for me after I get the vaccine. If nothing changes, I mean, I'm still going to get it as soon as I'm allowed to. I just think that we need something to hope for, and it's great that I can be guaranteed now by the Biden administration that I will be vaccinated in 2 months, but what will change? If we're just going to live like this forever with masks and lockdown, I think people are starting to get anxious about it, and I just, again, would implore hope and something that shows that America can have some semblance of normalcy moving forward, if that's possible.
Right. It is. I think so. Sarah, what's your feeling about all this?
I love this because I think anytime you use your platform, as Dolly Parton did, that she used her wallet and her platform to help with this vaccination, it shows people that, that this is a good thing. I'm doing it. I also find it reassuring when all of us know healthcare workers, frontline workers, who are the heroes, and they continue to be, of 2020 going forward. They've saved our lives on this pandemic, and they continue to put theirs on the line every day. When they post, I took the vaccine, I find it hopeful. I find it another layer of security that I'm going to do it too, and soon. And I see it as all being hopeful, because I feel like when you look at the generations, centuries of what people had to endure, when we say we're called to our couches, not the battlefield, this is our wartime efforts. And that wartime effort that Biden invoked actually allowed for two competing companies, Johnson & Johnson and Merck, to allow for this vaccine to vaccinate every adult by the end of May, which we don't see a lot of cross-aisle or different parties, different people, different, ideologies coming together much these days. So I think it was all hope. I think these are all layers to shield us, keep us safe. As we discover what's coming next, I'll take it. I'm very much looking forward to getting my vaccine.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward. I'm hoping to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And, if I can get it and we can show you me getting it in my arm with tears running down my face, well, I'll let you see that. But here's the thing that I do want to say, Meghan, because I understand what you're saying. Here's the hope. The hope is that when folks get their vaccines, they continue to wear their masks and they don't start doing stuff before we can do it. Because the biggest problem I think we're going to have in this country is we have to make sure that everyone wears their masks, gets vaccinated, so that we get to the place where everyone is comfortable enough where you can go do stuff. But I don't want to go around with people if they're not wearing their masks, especially while we're waiting for the rest of the nation to get vaccinated. So I think we have to get to a place where we're all working towards the same goal, which is the normalcy that we keep talking about that we would like to have. So that's what I think. That's what I hope the next group of messaging will be. That if we do what we're supposed to do, because look, people are saying there's been no flu. Where's been the flu been? People had their mask on. Nobody, very few people got the flu. So there is something to be said for wearing these masks for the time being and doing what we can to keep each other safe. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know if that helps at all, but that's what I think.
So that was that. So we found out from President Biden, according to President Biden, it seems as though every American by May, which is we're in the month of March, so within 2 months, it's supposedly every American will have access to getting the vaccine. Now, just last Monday, and again, I asked you to go and view my commentary, the one I did with allegedly that Meghan McCain was talked to by the View executive, because I played the clip of her disparaging Dr. Fauci, plus I did one about that as well. But she was complaining last week, Meghan McCain, co-host of The View, don't know when I can get a vaccine. Now, yesterday, President Biden stated that hopefully by May, all Americans can get access to the vaccine. And I'm sure you just heard that clip I just played. I implore you to go out and maybe Google The View 3/3/2021 as well as this commentary. There's no satisfying this woman. It's like, dang if you do, dang if you don't. She's always trying to misconstrue, spewing her false narrative. And this is why allegedly that the executive had a talk to, and if that was true, and then if she did have a 2-day suspension, we see what we got today. No different. She said the messaging from the CDC is confusing. No, it's not. Meghan McCain is intentionally trying to make it confusing with her own narrative of BS and crap. And never has it been said that we're going to be wearing masks forever. No one has said that. We don't know when we may go back to, in fact, who knows if we really would go back to life as we had it prior to last year, March of last year, when everything turned upside down. We went into a pandemic. The world, our country literally shut down. The economy. Kids was out on spring breaks, not able to go back to school. Can't have normal holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the New Year's. Are limited in what you can do in a smaller group. Life has changed for everyone. Not just that spoiled, rich, entitled daughter of John McCain, the brat that he and his wife gave to us, the world, because they have not taught her to have respect and manners. And now we all got to deal with what we get from her because she's been given this platform. And all she does is complain, and lie, and misconstrue, and give false narrative. If she wants to get the vaccine now, within 2 months, guess what? She will have that opportunity. But yet and still, she still want to come out here and just try to berate, disparage what CDC are saying and giving lies, because it's not been said that we will be like this forever. They don't know. This is still new. It's now a year, because we know this happened in March, and as the year went by, month by month last year, it was still a lot not known. Now they have now come up with 2 vaccines. Many are skeptical about taking the vaccine, I being one, and especially as they say, we as African Americans. But I got enough sense to know this is still new. I got to use my own best judgment. I got to advocate for myself. And I know this has affected everyone. This continues to affect everyone because people have died. Over 500,000 American lives have died, and the count continues. And you got this little white privileged woman complaining. First, she was pissed off, complaining about she couldn't get a freaking vaccine. Now it's been stated within 2 months she has the opportunity, but she still wants to say there's messaging. Like, girl, stop it. And if what was true, allegedly she had a talk to, well, it looks like you all might need another talking to with Meghan McCain, or maybe a little deeper than maybe a 2-day suspension. Because she's coming out here doing the same thing. And anyone else, I truly don't believe they would be getting away with that. Probably would have lost her job. Like I said, if Sonny came out that way, she'd be snotting and rolling her eyes and rolling her neck and all that and turning her face up. Girl. She just, it's unbelievable the things we see from this woman and what she gets away with. And again, all this spewing of false information. It has not been said we're going to wear masks. We may be wearing, now Dr. Fauci did say we may be wearing them to May 2022 next year. But no one knows what forever holds. Only God himself. We're not going to be here forever. And still, people need to be mindful. God is God. Man don't know. They're just going through this just like you and I. But with them being experts in the field, they have a little better knowledge of things, and they're to share that with you and I. Again, we got to use our own intelligence and do our own adequate research and educate ourselves. But it's not for you and I to get out here and disparage this down talks official that does have a degree in that field, and you and I don't. I had saw something about Dr. Fauci. Let me see if I still got it. I may not have it. I was going to read about Dr. Fauci, but again, Meghan McCain she should not be out here disparaging Dr. Fauci. Let me see if I can find this. Okay. It's Anthony Stephen Fauci. He's married. He's got 3 daughters of his own. Dr. Fauci was appointed director of NIAID in 1984. He oversees an extensive research portfolio of basic and applied research to prevent, diagnose, and treat AIDS. Profiles and awards and honor. February 15, 2021, he was awarded the Dan David Prize for Public Health. February 13, 2021, STEM Pod Leaders Early Life to present Dr. Fauci. The man has credentials that Meghan McCain does not. And for her to be out here making, like I said, these false claims about this man is not right. It's simply not right. He was born in December of 1940, an American physician, scientist, and immunologist who serves as the director of the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease and chief medical advisor to the president. That is who Dr. Anthony Fauci. Those are his credentials. Meghan McCain. You have a freaking arts degree. But we're supposed to think that you have the qualification to sit at that table and give your opinions, where you don't have any qualification. It's that you're John McCain's daughter is why you sit there, and then you come out here and you actually disparage and disrespect a man of the caliber of Dr. Fauci. Stop it, Meghan McCain. If you can't do your job in a professional manner, in a tone that's kind, why be there? But to come out here with these false lies. Again, this man is an American physician, scientist, and immunologist. And he serves as the director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. And he's his chief medical advisor, MD, where you have none of those credentials. And you have no right to come on national TV and continue to try to disparage Dr. Fauci or the CDC or any of those medical professionals, scientists, the experts. You are not an expert. You're really not an expert on anything, truth be told. But you definitely don't have any credentials to try to disparage those that are. You said you wanted to be able to get the freaking vaccine. You're going to be able to do that in 2 months. Why you just can't be satisfied and show some human kindness? You have a co-host that husband lost both his parents to COVID-19 over the Christmas and New Year's holiday. Over 500,000 American lives have died, and the count continues. And you want to come on TV and gripe and complain about, well, I don't know if I can have go to dinner party with George. George probably doesn't want to even have dinner with you. After all, she did say she didn't miss you when you was on maternity leave. And at some point, we may go back to where life was like we call normal, but then again, we may not. And if we don't, we have to adapt. It's called life. And you are not the only one that has had an effect. We all have. Life has changed for every living human being. Not just you. Not just Meghan McCain, co-host of The View, John McCain's daughter. But all of us. But everybody else is trying to do their part. Because see, you said you gave your mask away when you should have kept them. But then you claim you're also trying to do your part. See, you lie so much and then you get caught up in those lies. Within 2 months, everybody should be able, who wants to get a vaccination can. But we still gonna need to make sure we practice social distancing. We're gonna have to make sure that we continue to wear a mask. One, everybody may not get a vaccine, so you have to be mindful. Again, educate yourself and stop pointing the finger. Stop wanting to do the blame game and educate yourself. And for you, grow up. Because you're not the only one that's been inconvenienced or life has changed from what it previously was. All of ours has. And the sun does not rise and set on you, Meghan McCain. It doesn't. So it's just time to realize none of us knows what or how soon we make it. Because she said, well, once I get the vaccine, instead of telling me what I can't do, tell me what I can do. They might not. Now, see, I'm going to have, in fact, I do. I have respect when you can tell me honestly, you don't know, then it's just to feed me something because you want to appease me. No, I want the truth. And if the truth is you don't know, I will take that and I will respect that. We are a year in this pandemic, and the experts like Dr. Fauci, people at CDC, medical professionals and all of this, they are basically going through it, the motion along with you and I. They're trying to learn information, give the best information, do research, get data, and data, as Dr. Fauci often says. Wear a mask, wash your hands, practice social distancing. Just be compliant to the request that's being asked from medical professionals, the experts, the scientists. Because if we all just do our part within time, and no one can give us a definite date, time frame, but within time, hopefully we will get back to life as normal, and hopefully we won't have to wear a mask. But as for now, this is where we are. And where we are is wearing a face covering, wearing a mask if you're out and about, and if you're in large groups, wear a mask. And if you elect to get vaccinated, that's your choice. That's your preference. But at the same time, it's millions and millions of people in the United States, in our country. So you have to be concerned about yourself, your loved ones, and everyone else out there, because this is where we are. None of us signed up for this. None of us volunteered, but we're not God. We're not in control. Man is not in control. And that's something you might want to know as well, Meghan McCain. Man is not in control. There's only one. And that's our Heavenly Father. That's Jesus Christ, God himself. He knows all things. He's in control. And when he said enough of this pandemic, that will be that. And he will be giving the guidance in the direction. Not Meghan McCain. So, I know this was pretty long. As you can see, sometimes I can get going because it just makes no sense for this woman to continue to come on national TV, spewing false information, complaining, and talking about, well, we never gonna do this. No one has said we never. And then if we never do get back to where it was, girl, you are alive. You just had a child. Enjoy the moments that you have, because life is short as it is. Learn to be grateful. Learn to be thankful. Learn to have empathy. Learn to have compassion. Learn to be human. And stop being such a complainer, whining. You fill in the blank. This is my commentary. I'm LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk.